Go ahead. This
No,
is our
that's all right.
this is our trial. You don't want to. Oh, yeah, it's because of work story.
Yeah, work story.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I'll tell you later.
Do you want me to stop it?
No.
Sorry, folks. You're gonna have to come back later.
No.
Well, tell them to come back later.
It can wait. Ain't worried about it.
All right, folks. We're gonna wait till we see
As soon as
confirmation.
I get this, yep. Always takes a second. Yeah, we see the past broadcast. It's funny because it says episode 18, but I don't get the live.
No soup for you. No podcast for
Did
you.
it stop? 13 seconds. What's going on?
It says we're streaming.
That's probably my... There we go. All right. Got it. All right.
We'll go live in a second. We're having issues on my end now.
Yeah.
There we go. Very good. I was trying to open the users in the chat so I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if someone new pops in,
Yeah.
I can do it. It's weird it's not showing you yet. It's being real laggy. Weird. All right. Back to the Zero Intention Podcast with myself, Kyle. And
Jeremiah. Yeah.
The man formerly known as Jeremiah.
Formerly, yep.
And currently.
Yeah.
There was a gap, but we'll discuss that. Never. Never.
There really was, actually. So.
Let's talk about I almost ruined right away. I want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's the big news. It's Microsoft buying everything.
Right?
Everything.
Yeah. They're collecting all the cards.
Do we think... We've talked about it before. Blizzard was a fantastic company.
They were the top. They were
Do
the number
we think
one.
they make it back?
No, absolutely not.
You think it's done?
No, it's over. The Blizzard game is over. The people that made Blizzard are gone. They've moved on. So
you don't think Microsoft can bring it back to glory?
Absolutely not. No, not what it used to be.
Do you think games from... I mean, Activision, as one of my coworkers said today, is more of a publisher than anything.
Right.
They're really not making games.
Yes.
Do you think that they continue down this horrible regurgitation game system where they're just putting the same game out over and over?
That is what makes money. That's what executives like to see.
You don't think Microsoft's going to change anything?
No, absolutely
You think ownership just changes, but
Yes.
everything stays the same? Microsoft collects the check.
Yep, and they've already made a comment about talking with Sony, saying, we're going to continue to work with you.
Oh, that's good.
Keep Call of Duty, on
because with Microsoft owning Bethesda,
but that's like currently. That could change in the future, obviously, if they decide
if they
at some
lose,
point in the future that they're going to make more money with an exclusive than they would, putting it on all platforms. But
I mean, if Microsoft did say, you know what, from here on out, games, Microsoft exclusive, Sony's done. I mean, that's...
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure they'll still sell consoles, but...
I would not buy an Xbox just to play those.
No?
No, absolutely not.
Really? I would. If I knew for sure that prior to buying my PS5, that Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, those three for sure, only going to be on Xbox forever.
Yeah.
I'd buy an Xbox
So I don't
instead.
play Blizzard games anymore.
I know.
And I've never liked Activision stuff. I mean, like, with probably, Guitar Hero being an exception, when they were publishing that. But
that was Activision?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Wasn't it? Or was it Rock Band? I don't know.
Rock Band was Activision
was
for
it?
sure.
Okay, it was Rock
wasn't
Band.
Rock Band, or wasn't Guitar Hero Insomnia?
Yeah,
with the weird
I think
eye?
they had different
Oh, did they?
studios throughout the franchise.
Is Insomnia still around?
I think that's a... Like, I get, like, isn't, like, Insomnia and Insomniac are two different studios. I get them.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
What they've made.
I do know that Activision / Blizzard, that company owns a ton of games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they own Spyro, all the Tony Hawk games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that any of those games have been relevant in a very long time.
I've actually, like, more so recently over the years, I've been playing, indie games, small studio type of stuff. So,
right.
The big franchise stuff I kind of skip over. Like, I don't play Call of Duty anymore.
See, and I don't know, as you say, you think they're going to keep it the same. I liked Call of Duty games.
Oh, I did too.
The last two that came out.
World at War was phenomenal.
Hated
I loved that one. Really?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I had it for the Wii at first.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Played a lot of that, so yeah.
No, I liked Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
And Black Ops 1. I really liked Modern Warfare for PS4. That was fantastic. I have a ton of hours. That's my second most played game. And then Cold War, lackluster. And now they've had Vanguard and something else. And I haven't even bought Vanguard.
No, yeah, I haven't bought a Call of Duty game.
Kyle
in
from
years.
What podcast? I can shout out their podcast. What is their podcast?
6 of 1.
6 of 1.
6 of 1.
I haven't listened to it yet, folks, but they do have a whole episode dedicated to UFOs and aliens.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll check that one out.
Might want to check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that Kyle, he told me to buy Vanguard because he's really liking it. I just can't.
Yeah.
Can't.
I downloaded the free one on PSN last month or whenever it was. No, it was a while back.
Oh, Black Ops 3?
Whatever it was. I don't know what, but all I played was zombies. I tried
Black
playing
Ops 3.
Yeah, I think
that was
so,
where you had jetpacks and shit, right?
Something, I don't.
On multiplayer, that was weird.
Yeah,
because I own it for PS4.
I didn't play any multiplayer at all.
I tried, and people were bouncing off walls, and I'm like, this is too far out there.
Right. But just to play zombies, and I played the what is it, Voyage of the Damned, on the ship. So
I didn't play enough to even know what that is.
I got pretty far into it.
Did you?
But it just got to be too hard. I'm like, I am not skilled enough to actually complete this solo.
Yeah.
I was playing solo and trying to solve all the puzzles and
I
do
feel
all the pack-a-punch, and I'm just like, man.
That specific Call of Duty, I think, was trying to emulate Halo a little too much.
Yeah.
That's another game that really draws me toward Xbox because I haven't had one since 360. I mean, Halo's a great series.
Oh yeah,
it's just so fun.
Sure.
So fun.
Yeah.
Single player
it was
and
the
online.
Game back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I can't even remember how many times.
I think I got to what was it? What was Halo 5 or something like that? Maybe.
I got to 3.
So
3 was the last one I played.
I didn't finish it. It was just so.
I remember a kid in my school. His parents let him stay home from school when 3 came out. And me and another kid in the neighborhood, he invited me to go to his house because I wasn't really friends with him. And we got to his house right as he was beating the game, the final drive in the lava type level.
Yeah.
So I watched the ending the day it came out. And I was like, this is crazy. This kid got it at midnight, probably stayed up all night.
Oh, absolutely.
And his parents didn't make him go to school.
Huh.
And he beat it. So, because I might have played one after. I remember Forge being a really cool mode to play with friends.
Yeah.
Because you could turn into that little ball and then build stuff, and it was always fun when we were playing one-on-one death matches, and I'd turn in that little ball, and they're like, I can't find you, and you're like, yeah. They're like, you're in the ball, aren't you? I'm like, of course not.
Standing right in front of you, man.
I would never do that. I would never fly away from you. Not. Right? Yeah, Halo was great. I mean, even Halo 1 for the original Xbox to plug in all the controllers. I remember my dad's buddies all doing it. It was just...
Yeah.
And things have not... Well, they've changed now, but from when I watched them play to watch how they talk to each other and the things they say to when I was, in my teens playing... it's the same mindset. It doesn't matter if you're 30-year-olds playing or 13-year-olds.
Yeah,
I mean, it is...
You gotta trash talk. It's part of it.
Straight to some weird primal...
Yeah.
It's your mom. Yeah, it's you. And just whatever you yell, go straight to it.
Yep.
Now I've seen streamers get banned for saying stuff like that. And
I know you're removing a core component to... competition like that, playing basketball,
it's
you have to trash talk. You have to.
And it's so fun with
there's
online
that
gaming.
Psychological game, warfare that goes on along with the skill competition.
See, I don't even think it's that. I just think it's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And especially because, when you're talking basketball, you see each other and things can get heated. There's no at home. They're sitting at home. Nothing is gonna happen, And by the time you see each other in person,
it used to be that way. Now with the rise of swatting as a thing, it's now it is dangerous.
They remove you in competitions for teabagging.
Oh, really?
Which I mean, it was funny to do, but also so frustrating when someone kills you and then does it too. It makes you so mad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You get someone mad, then they're not operating at the highest level,
true.
and it's easier to fight them. So yeah.
And I'm not because we're talking about it. I saw this is last year. A streamer got banned for I think calling someone the N-word during a stream.
Yeah.
And I don't want to defend him, but his argument was he was trying to say the worst thing that came to his mind. And I do feel like that's how it is when you're online gaming. When you're mad, you're just saying like the most hateful, worst thing you can say. You're not thinking about repercussions or what those words mean. You're literally like, it's like when you get cut off and you're like, I hope your whole family burns to death. You're just saying the worst thing you could possibly say.
I picked up a really bad habit from a buddy of mine of, wishing cancer on people.
Yeah.
As I'm driving, they do something
driving.
stupid.
I will say the worst things that you should never wish upon anyone.
Yep.
Like, I hope lightning strikes your car and blows up and then your family house, but like, I'll just go off.
Yeah, I'm like, I got to stop doing that because
you'll get
terrible.
cancer.
It's really bad. Exactly. Yeah.
There was a Tom Segura stand-up about when he was trying to get his medical card for weed. And he said he was sitting in the room trying to come up with an excuse. And he's like, I'll just tell him I have cancer. And he's like, but if I do that to get weed, someone in my family's going to die of cancer next week. It's going to happen immediately.
Sure, yeah.
And that's how it is. So, well, that's about all I had, I wanted to address the whole...
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see where it goes.
Do you think they're just going to keep buying more?
I think that if they keep trying to do that, then they'll run into some, some monopoly issues.
Facebook just hit that, right? I think the Supreme Court, one of the court systems ruled that they should not be allowed to own Facebook and Instagram and whatever else they own.
Yeah.
And their new online thing.
You get around it by, just setting up, tiers and parent companies and all that kind of stuff. So
I don't know, because AT&T back in the day, for our young viewers don't know, but they tried to buy Sprint, I think. Or
something that I don't remember.
And they got shut down hard because then it would have just been AT&T and Verizon. Yeah. That's it.
And yet, like glasses, like all owned by one company.
Yes.
It's like, how is that not a monopoly?
Well, what's even worse about that is media.
All the entire diamond industry, all owned by one company. It's like,
that's what's crazy about diamonds. So many diamonds come out a year or mined a year, and then they hold them.
Yes.
They only release a certain amount a year to keep the value where it's at.
Diamonds in and of themselves, no value. They're worthless.
Yeah.
But, they, successfully made a marketing campaign to,
and they hold
convince people that there's value to this.
Like you said, it's one company, so if they're holding it, if for some reason that company released all their diamonds, boom, your diamond price is worth nothing.
Right, yeah.
Because there's that many around.
Yes.
I mean, that's like if Lamborghini was saying our car's worth this much because we make $500 a year, but they're making $500,000 or $5 million that you don't see, and then one day they're like, here they all are.
Yep. Now everyone gets a Lamborghini.
Well, that's what Chevy did. They're like, you guys like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. New Corvette starts at $50,000, looks like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. Here you go. Give it 5 years, when the chip shortage is done, they'll be all over the road. Yeah, it'll be crazy to see cars like that everywhere. So AT&T, it would have just been AT&T and Verizon, which would have been crazy for back then.
Sure, and back then Verizon was small.
Yeah,
like it was the underdog.
Do you remember when the Droid was released? The phone was called the Droid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the first Android-based thing, and now it's really Android. Or Microsoft tried, but God, their phone sucked.
Yeah.
Let's release the worst Microsoft Windows ever that has the tiles. No one likes the tiles. Let's put it on a phone.
Yeah.
God, those tiles. What was that, Windows 8?
Yes.
God, that was horrible.
My mom still has Windows 8.
She likes it?
No, she doesn't.
It's horrible.
Like, she doesn't know any different is the thing. So
I like XP and Vista.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Sure, yeah.
Windows 10, it's pretty I liked 7.
XP was solid. Like, that was...
7 was pretty good. This is running on 7.
Yeah.
Because it went to 10. I was like, no, we're going back to 7.
Yeah.
10 just feels... And it's a problem that, I don't know if we talked about on here. If you fresh install Windows 10, you can get a CPU usage error.
Yeah.
Where Windows,
right,
for no reason.
Yeah.
You just have to wipe it off and reinstall it because it's right.
Right.
It's just not optimized.
Yes.
That's shitty.
Right. Yeah.
And when I talked about this today, because Google Chrome at our work broke a bunch of our systems with an update.
Yeah.
I don't know how Microsoft, as big as they are, still pushes shitty Explorer and now Edge.
Right.
They can't make a browser.
Yes.
How can they not? They're a huge company, and their browser is the worst.
It's mind-boggling. Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
I really don't understand. Yeah.
And I use Chrome.
They, I think what happened is that when they shifted their focus to, like corporate interests, so building out their .NET framework and all that kind of stuff, and the corporate system softwares, that kind of stuff, that they kind of, like, well, we'll do stuff for consumer, but it's not really our focus. Yeah. Like, it's not where we make our money.
I don't know what the percentage, but business computers has got to be 80-90% Windows.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
It's got to be.
Yep. I've known some, IT guys, security guys that like, they will only consider Windows products. They're like, I will not even look at anything else.
I used Linux in like 09, 10, just for the fact that it was open. You could do a lot of cool stuff, but in theory, it just doesn't run well enough yet for everything.
Right.
But I hated Apple.
Like, I had last job I was at, the website was built in it was some stupid, like, Microsoft, like, Pages or something like that. Like, something you should definitely never build a website with, but Microsoft product. He's like, I will not, entertain anything else. And it's like, dude, I can build you a website. So it's like, no, it's gotta,
Costco uses all like Chrome stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have, like, all their internal documents is like saved in like Microsoft Docs, basically.
Ooh.
Like, they don't have like an intraweb. They're just using whatever web service that Microsoft sells to them, which is
okay.
That's mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Huh.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's a little better approach. The company we work at tries really hard to build their own software, and it always turns out real bad.
Yes.
And the problem with that is it's too hard to build specialized things because they don't want to pay. I get it.
Right.
But it's so specialized, and the problem you run into is you can't future-proof it.
Right.
If you're doing it in-house, like you weren't at our company, but when we switched to Windows 10, you have a big problem because everything's built on Windows 7. You have no idea what 10 is going to be.
Sure.
So it's probably 8 times out of 10 is not going to just remotely flip unless Windows is doing like I'm guessing 10 and 11 will be pretty close. But the change from 7 to 10, whatever it is on the back end, the programs don't work.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the other downside. So you can either go fully paid using something horrible like Windows or try and specialize it. There's an in-between.
Yeah.
You got to pay. I know GM pays for all third-party everything.
So that was that's what I'm dealing with currently is
at work.
Is one of our systems is not built to enter in hundreds of parts all at once.
Oh.
And yet that's what we have to do.
Yeah, so they're not going to
just gets bogged down. It's crazy.
I look way too comfortable in this podcast.
Yeah, you need to use that blankie. There you go.
No, don't worry about my sweatpants, all right?
So yes, that's what I'm dealing with at work, but at least it's not as bad as, like, as a web developer, speaking of, Microsoft in their browser, they did something crazy different every single iteration. So when I was developing, I had to write special code all the way back to Internet Explorer 6. Yeah. And so do something special for 6, 7, 8. I had crazy, like, media queries and all this kind of stuff to handle just those browsers.
I talked to our guy, and he said if it weren't for the community, like, so when Chrome came out, when the new Chrome update, it broke some things, but not just at our company, at probably millions of companies.
Oh, yeah.
So thank God there's a community out there now. I can't imagine in 97 breaking. It's so hard to find it now.
Oh yeah.
You've got
I
thousands
did.
of people.
I spent more time troubleshooting, Internet Explorer, issues than anything else. I'm like, the website's done. Like, it works in every browser except for this one. And I'm like, what in the world is going on over here?
Yeah, when you've got thousands of people, like I've written 3 or 4 batch files just in text and change them to batch, and the amount of easiness it is to go in and pick and choose what you want it to do. It's like, I can't just write you a batch code if you tell me, but I can go to websites and see things that are really similar, and kind of go line by line and go, so this is doing this part.
Stack Overflow was my best friend. Yeah,
they're great.
Yep,
that's great. Yeah, so it helps because you can say, like, okay, so this part right here is reading the files. This part's changing the names. Right here, it's only looking for .exe. I want it to look for .zip. Boom. Just, you can pick and choose. And it gets you most of the way there.
So that actually reminds me of, like, the importance of
MySpace.
Downvoting.
Oh, yeah.
Because, for places like that, like,
you
Stack
can see
Overflow,
if it's good or bad.
Like, someone submits a block of code, and if it, has either no votes or has a lot of votes, you're like, it's worth a shot. But if it has negative votes,
then you're like, no.
Not even going to try it. Yeah.
So I use Reddit when I've been reading about, they're real old Reddits because it's for Diablo 2. Mm-hmm. But, like, when I look for what gear should I use instead of this, because obviously once endgame you have to have something, I go through the comments, and if someone's heavily downvoted, I'm like, okay, so clearly that's an option, but not a good option.
Right.
Because if 60 people have downvoted it, clearly there's something else I should be using. So it really helps.
Right.
You see all the memes now. It's like when I used YouTube video to do house is flooding, because, like, there's no downvote. Yeah. I think they took a hard stance. They're not changing it.
They won't. It's one of those things. It's like, we can't admit we're wrong. So
any company, there's a company I worked for, they started doing 410s because they said they wanted people there all the time, so they could work 3 shifts, 410s, no one gets burnt out. Realistically, it's so no one gets OT, because if you're working 410s and they're not giving you the OT for the next day, so that's really why they did it. Anyway, turned out productivity went down because people didn't like it. It wasn't set up right. The guy who started it, they didn't want to accept defeat. They promoted him and sent him somewhere else to a different location. Yeah. And the consensus to everyone was,
send your bad ideas over there.
Yeah, the consensus was he was promoted out.
Sure.
But then they still didn't fix it because they don't want to admit they're wrong.
Yeah.
We just won't let him do anything else, but we're not going to change this because we're not wrong.
Right.
We see it was bad. Yeah, it's not our fault.
It's not our fault. It's your fault because you can't comply.
Right.
It's like your attitude stinks.
If you could do a morning shift, like an 8 to whatever, if you could do a 10-hour that starts at 8 or 9 in the morning and work Monday through Thursday, fantastic. And 410s. Yeah. It sounds like a lot if you've never worked a 10-hour, but 2 more hours on top of your 8 is great.
It really isn't.
And then you get Fridays off.
It's easy to do. Especially if you're, in a task and,
well, and if you're already there,
so yeah.
If you're in the olden days, 3 years ago, and you're going to an office every day, what's 2 more hours?
I find those, like I usually, I'm not like working on a task, but I still have my work computer open for, a good 2 hours, just waiting to see if anyone has any, like.
Do you?
I do, yeah. Any, like, last minute stuff come in.
Yeah, mine doesn't end. My job doesn't, like, there's no necessary end. But if we extended, I work from home. If we did, I could do that for 2 more hours, fine. Like, more things come in, I would just clear them out.
Because, like, that's the thing. Like, I have my setup, like, at my desk, so I'm sitting there anyway. So that's why it's up. I'm like, I'm available if you have any questions. If you need anything, I'm
available
respond,
to my team for sure. Like,
yeah.
Any outside team, I'm not going to take after hours. My boss calls me, goes, hey, this is can you do it? It's 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, I'm going to hop on and do it. It's not a big deal.
Right.
I think when this first happened, me working from home, which is unheard of in my position, I was working all sorts of weird hours.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have anything better to do.
So
like Joy's working or I got a movie on. I'm like, I'm just going to knock these out so I don't have to do them in the morning.
Yeah.
I would be so much more productive if they're like, you have no hours.
Right.
Just work when you want.
Yeah.
I wouldn't work the morning. I'd work all the way through lunch. Stop. Let's just say it's a Friday. Stop for dinner. I'd work till you got here for the podcast. Everyone's sleeping in my house. I'd just work again till I felt tired.
Right.
I'd probably get more work done with no schedule.
Right.
Because I just set goals for myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you set someone in a time box, you're like, well, I'm going to work what you want me to work, and then I'm done.
I've got a list of tasks I'm going to do, but, you know, I got to be here anyway. I'm not going to get on it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, or if the time ends, like,
yeah,
the time's done, like, there's nothing. You're like,
I can't do that. Like if I start getting a list of tasks I got to do, then I'm like, oh man, I got to get these out of here.
My whole job is a list of tasks.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I just have to, because
yeah,
you know, the jobs just get queued up. It's like, that's it.
I think that does kind of, you know, work against me at times because I do things too quickly.
Yeah.
And so I kind of set that expectation that that's how long it takes.
Oh.
So, but I'm like, I got to get it off my plate. Like, I do not want to be the one holding stuff up. So right now I have a task that is kind of bothering me because it's not my task, and yet I'm the one that has to go in and submit.
And you can't do it yet.
So I don't have the data for it. Like, I cannot submit. I don't have the way to quote it myself because I don't have the source files.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just waiting for someone else to give me the data, but they didn't know, even though I've been saying for weeks now
that you need it,
that this data is not in this file. They thought it was, and I'm like, no, it's not. And so we had to have a meeting, one-on-one meeting. I'm like, let me show you what I'm talking about, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll get you that. And I'm like,
kind of do that in my so I make a list of things to do.
But I think it's my fault in the meeting.
Well,
they're like, why are you taking so long? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll get it done.
Is that my cat? In my personal life, I make a list of things to do, and usually it helps because then I like feel fulfilled, like I got everything done.
Mm-hmm.
But it can work against me because I'll make the list at night or something, and I'll put way too many things on it.
Right.
And then I see my list isn't getting done, and then I stress out, and I'm like, this is an arbitrary list I made for myself.
Sure.
Why am I stressing out? Like,
you gotta put easy stuff on there to check off. Number one's always write a list.
Is it?
Check. There
See,
you
I
go.
just like put all the
Check
things
it
I
right
want to
off.
get done, and then I get stressed out. Like, it'll be like, do the cat litter, even though it doesn't. And then like I run out of time. And I was like, well, I didn't do that. Why didn't I do that? I'm like, well, just do it tomorrow, man. It's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay. But the list, it's like open items frustrates me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's a list of things to do, I'm like you. I just want to get it all done.
Yeah.
So I can be done with it.
Right.
That's what building my shed last summer made me so mad because I'm not skilled enough, one, to do it all myself. And I have to rely on, like, you had to come up, like, I can't lift the wall on myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, I know it has to be done. Wake up at 9 in the morning. It's not getting done till 4. And it's just like, I'm just, like, come on.
Yes. See,
I want this to be done.
I would be out there trying to lift it myself or figure out a way.
See,
I tried. Set up something that would lift it.
I was trying to level the ground out there because it's not level. And I could not get it level, and it's like 102 degrees. So I'm just sweating in the sun, and I'm just getting more and more frustrated. And there's no one that can help me at the time. Yeah. That's what I hated. Because like I'd come in and be like, it's either be frustrated inside, you can't do it, or you're sweating and angry outside,
right? Because
you can't do it. There's no winning in that situation. It's just not fun.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say one other thing about weird hours. One of the previous jobs I had, the owner called me at 3 a.m.
Whoa, what is the owner doing up at 3 a.m.?
So she was always up. She never slept. Like, it was crazy. But she called me at 3 a.m. because I was in charge of this project, this international project that she wanted to, that we're bidding on, that she really wanted to get. And she's like, I just thought of something, whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'll take care of it. So I got up at 3 a.m., logged into my work computer from home, and worked on that.
See, I learned after my first real job that I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
It's just like after, these are my hours. Like, you're not getting me all the time.
Right.
It'll wear you down if you're doing that constantly, because then they start to expect it, and it's like, look,
yeah.
gotta set
The
boundaries.
problem was that she she was a very, very high, A type personality. So, had no patience for anything, would put no effort into understanding anything. She just expected results.
Yeah.
So
that's rough.
Yeah.
I remember when I worked for General Motors, we had a software problem where it crashed basically everything that these machines ran on without. I'm trying not to get into specifics because I don't know. Haven't worked there in a while, but you still don't want to say anything. They go down, and we got there at 6 a.m. And so we get a hold of like the 24/7 help desk, which was weird because they made me call, and I call, and I'm like, hey, we're having a problem with this computer. They're like, what location are you at? I'm like, this is a local number. What do you mean? What? GM's a company, but we're like this huge location. Shouldn't you know? And I was like, oh. So I say the city. And they're like, what country? I'm like, what country? I'm like, the United States. And then I had to go state, and then they get to me, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we can't do that. You have to wait for local IT.
I called the local number.
Yeah, and so I get off with them, and I go to the manager. I'm like, they said local IT. He goes, oh, the guys that work here. I was like, cool. So we call him. He goes, they don't come until 9:30. I'm like, so what do we do? He's like, they're not going to answer. We wait till 9:30. So from 6 to, like, you just wait.
Yeah.
Because IT,
yeah,
they're not coming in early.
Sure.
Like, those aren't my hours.
Yeah.
I'll get there when I get there, and then you'll get it fixed.
Sure. I mean, I knew enough to, there's a small company there that the IT guy would, either call me or my buddy, and the server would constantly need to be, just restarted. So, real simple, but, I just have to go in the server room and do that, and it had to be done physically. Like, he couldn't log in remotely and do it. So, and he lived like, an hour away or something like that. And
we could do that at the company.
Called in. He's like, hey, can you just reset the server for me real quick? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So.
We could do that where we work now. I mean, very simple. Our company's small enough that it's all isolated. Mm-hmm. But like GM and all those wide server that's running, it's like they have to troubleshoot it, and they're not going to they're very strict. Like we had a lift, giant, basically car vending machine, like you see a Carvana. It goes down because they weren't maintaining it. Mm-hmm. So they hire a company to come in, and they sat there paid for like 4 or 5 days because you need all the safety. GM does not mess around with safety. So they needed harnesses. Then they have to be trained on site. I got back. So they would come in every day, and they'd sit there and just wait. And I remember talking to the guy. I'm like, you guys just sit and wait? He goes, they're paying us to be here. Right. He's like, we're not leaving. He's like, what if someone shows up? I'm going to be here. Right. He's like, if they want to pay me to sit around and do nothing, he's like, it sucks, but it's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's one thing I'll give GM on. They are crazy about safety. Yeah. Everything. Right. It's got to be like to the T. If you get hurt at the location I was at, any kind of hurt, talking paper cut, boom, they send you straight to a medic. They have medics on site, and if they don't like it, they send you straight to a hospital because they don't want to get sued or nothing. Yeah. So I allegedly burned myself. Allegedly. And I go to allegedly tell my manager, just in small talk. Like I wasn't hurt bad. It was just a tiny burn allegedly on my arm. Sure. And let's just a little theory crafting here. Say exactly. Say. Yeah. So I tell him we're just joking. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like I hate allegedly working on that vehicle because I burned my arm. He goes, you mean you did that in the driveway before you got to work? And I was like, no, just allegedly did it on that car there. And he goes, you did it at home. And I look at him weird, and he goes, would you like to go to the hospital today? And I was like, yes, on my car at home. Allegedly I did it. Right. So that was a little theory crafting, but that's how it was. It was they don't care how, but if you're high enough, you have to. You gotta shoot them in. Yeah. So that was fun. It's just how serious they take it. Until it comes to productivity there. They wanted you to do things safely, and they were telling us not to do one thing. One of the guys that had been there probably 70 years, it feels like, stands up and he goes, you're telling me I can't do that anymore? The guy's like, yeah. He goes, so if I got to wait 2 hours for whatever is happening to be done so I can do my thing, I'm not going to get all my work done. And they're like, well, we want you to be safe. He's like, but at the end of the day, you're going to yell at me that I didn't get my work done. Right. He's like, that's why I have to do that. That's unsafe. He said, you're sitting here in the meeting telling me not to.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're going to be yelling at me for not getting my work done.
That was the exact scenario at Amazon.
Yeah,
so,
it's a very gray area. They're telling you one thing, and they're going, you do it.
Like, your entire training was all about safety. Like, that's all they covered.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't actually really cover, like, doing the job. Doing the job is secondary. Or training you on safety.
Yeah.
All right? Then you get in the job. You get on the road. And they're like, and the other drivers are like, all that stuff you learn in training, just throw it right out. You will not get this job done
safely
if you do everything they told you.
Yeah.
So
that's why the guy in my neighborhood drives with the Amazon door open.
Yep.
And just keeps it open.
Yeah.
And drives quickly.
Yep.
And basically runs. They probably tell you not to do any of that.
They do.
Don't speed.
They
run.
Exactly.
Don't leave the door.
Very important. I mean, don't touch your navigation's on the phone that they give you.
Yeah.
Don't touch the phone while you're driving. And yet that's what I need to use to find where I'm going.
And I guarantee
they don't give you a mount. Like, you're lucky if you get a van with a little mount on it. Yeah. Because that's not standard. At least because the way
and you're probably fired if you don't get all your packages done.
Oh,
consistently.
No, here's the thing. Exactly. So you have a cutoff time, 10 p.m. All right. So everything has to be delivered by 10 p.m. You can get done earlier if you get everything all delivered.
Yeah.
All as soon as you're done, you're done. But once you hit that 10 p.m., you're done. So if you're looking close, like, if your dispatch can see how many stops you still have left. So at a certain point, they'll call you and they say, hey, I'm sending someone out to pull packages off your truck because, you're not going to make it. And so that would happen, and then, I would have to go out and rescue, people constantly.
I remember twice now, Amazon, that you're saying that 10 p.m. cutoff. It's like your package is 5 stops away. I can see where it is. They mark mine delivered. It's clearly not delivered.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock. I don't get it till the next day.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, yep, it was delivered.
Yes.
And they did not
deliver.
deliver.
They hate that. They absolutely hate you coming back with packages. They're like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but they
it's always an issue.
They mark it delivered to meet the time on my app or for Amazon. And then it's not actually delivered.
Yep.
When I worked at a McDonald's, they did this thing called it was a park trick. So they probably still use the same system at McDonald's. They don't change very often. But when you come through a drive-thru and you start an order, once it's ordered, boom, a timer starts.
Yes.
And so you got the guy at the window, he starts it, and then you got the guy that's handing it out. And when he on his screen tells you the order number and everything that's in it, and when he hands it out, clears it off the screen. Now what you can do is and when you park it, that means like you're waiting for it to cook and it stops the timer. That's like when they tell you to pull around and wait.
Yeah.
But those also add up numbers. So what they'll do is hit park, and when you park it, it will let you print a receipt. So they'd park it, print the receipt, clear it. So it looks like you've served that, and you just have a receipt sitting there, so you know what that person needs. And that's how they're getting by with great numbers. Because technically they weren't clearing them out that fast.
Right.
They were just saving it.
Yeah.
And sure, probably mistakes were made that way because receipts get lost or you hand the wrong thing out.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big trick that I know at least 3 or 4 McDonald's use. The park and print trick, I mean, if you're really good, you don't have to print it. I mean, if you're slow and you're a one-window McDonald's, man, that's easy. Like, everything's coming up. The bag's there, so if you're waiting on nuggets or something, it's going in that bag, so you just clear it out and say they're gone because you can't really screw it up. The guy's sitting at your window.
Right.
You're going to hand him the right food.
Did you see that video of that woman that went absolutely ballistic because they didn't have nuggets or something like that?
Man, I'd go pretty mad if they didn't have nuggets, too.
Yeah?
How does McDonald's run out of nuggets?
I don't know what the deal was. If it was like, they were serving breakfast, or I think that's what it was. It was during breakfast time, and she wanted nuggets, and she's like, she was high on something.
Man, McDonald's, if you're watching this, let me tell you something. When you order to pick up on the drive-thru or curbside, breakfast, let's say, cuts off at 10:30, you cannot order breakfast between 10 and 10:30 on the app.
Oh, really?
And then you cannot order lunch until 11. So your
So
app
there's
is
nothing you can
basically
order?
between 10 and 11, you can't do anything.
Interesting.
It's very
I've
annoying.
never used the app, so I don't know that. But
I love it because ours gets so crazy.
it does, yeah.
But what I have noticed, this pisses me off, they won't let you order Happy Meals on the app now.
Really?
You can select everything, but then it says the store doesn't have the items.
Hmm.
And I don't know what they don't have.
Right.
I have a free Happy Meal on my app that I would love to use, but I can't because the store won't let me order it.
Really?
It's really strange. I tried taking the toy out. I tried, because I was wondering if it was.
So can you order at the window and give them your number, like they say?
No.
Like your rewards number?
No, because it lets you apply it to your order.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to scan it, but I can't even add it to my order.
Huh. Wow.
Like all the other rewards work, it's just Happy Meals.
Weird.
And I got a 6-year-old, so
Yeah.
Happy Meal is a must. So I haven't been able to use that reward.
It's got to go to a better McDonald's.
Apparently.
Premium McDonald's.
But yeah, now they're a little iffy because sometimes I've tried to do the curbside pickup and it's like, we're currently not doing that right now.
Yeah.
But it used to be much faster because that line's so slow.
So Starbucks does that to me a lot, in the sense that the order ahead stuff.
Yeah.
It's like whichever direction I'm going, that one isn't accept. It's like they're super busy. They're not accepting online orders. It's like, are you serious? It's like I've timed this out so that I order now, and when I get there, it'll be there.
You still have to go through the drive-thru though.
So in that instance, if they don't order ahead, then I just don't go to Starbucks.
Oh,
I go.
They're losing
well,
their
I go
business.
to someone else. So some other Starbucks.
But if you order,
we have 4 Starbucks in this town,
yeah.
so I got my pick of which one
Exactly.
to go to, or just make it at home. I make coffee at home most of the time, so I'm not going to Starbucks a lot. But on the weekends, like like on Saturdays before my game, I always
pick one up.
Stop by and you get a free one.
Starbucks sponsor us.
Yeah.
Kickstart first, please. At drinking
There
off
you
your
go.
product.
Yeah, yeah.
If they stop selling Kickstart, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that, actually. I tried it once.
Yellow or orange, the only ones I drink.
Yeah, I tried it once at Taco Bell, and I'm like...
Which one? The orange?
Orange, yeah.
Yeah, I like the orange.
Yeah?
Taco Bell's in it.
That's probably what it was.
There's
like,
nothing...
It was super watered down.
There's nothing crazy. I mean, they say 2 serving of a normal can, but everyone says, like, oh, I see you drink energy drinks all the time. It's not really. There's no more caffeine in this than a normal Mountain Dew. I mean, there is, but it's bigger. That's the only difference.
Sure.
Like, so if you drink the whole can, it's like drinking 2 Mountain Dews. That's why I like it, because it's not like a Monster. If I drink a whole Monster, man, I feel it. I'm like jittery, and I get the sweats. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Caffeine. Mountain Dew.
I used to drink 2 BFCs of Monster.
What is it? Oh, the big fucking cans.
Yeah.
You know what? When Import came out
in college.
Have you ever had Import? Monster Import?
No.
Had the weird like.
Maybe I did. Yeah.
God, that tastes so good. It's like a really sweet Mountain Dew or sweet Monster. When that came out, that was great for a while. So I grew up in a small town, and we'd all just ride our bikes into town, walk on the train tracks, throw rocks in the water, just random stuff. And it was so cheap. You can get an energy drink and some candy or snacks.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would do it every weekend or after school. And so we were always trying, but we got on low carb Monster for a while.
Oh yeah.
Because we were drinking Monster all the time, and then you try something different. It just tastes a little different.
Yeah.
So it's easier to drink. So Venom, when that came out, and it was in a sweet metal can with a twist top.
I like their the fruit punch one. That's pretty good.
It's nasty.
You don't like the fruit punch one?
I don't like fruit punch, period. That's the problem. I don't like grape.
Yeah.
So I like Venom and Venom Mango.
That's funny. Those are the 2 that I would choose. Fruit punch or grape. Huh.
No. Did you ever have them when they're in the twist top can? Venom.
No, but that's how the BFCs were.
Yeah. But Venom came in like a hard metal can. Like you couldn't crush it or anything. It was in like a really sturdy hard can. And they were 99 cents or whatever. I know why they switched to that. It's probably losing money in a hard can.
Exactly. You know how much we're spending on, having it this thickness of aluminum? Yeah.
And as a kid, we'd put firecrackers in them. We'd light shit on fire, shove them in there, and close the cap and see if it'd put it out, see how hot the can. We did so many stupid things. When we found out about axe and lighters, filling everything with axe and lighting it on fire to see what happens. you could, if you got a glass bottle, just empty half a can of Axe and light it on fire, and you could hold it like a little hand warmer when it's cold out. We're doing stupid stuff.
Right.
It's what happens when you let rural kids just roam.
Yep.
No one's getting hurt. We weren't doing anything to hurt other people.
Right.
We were just making stupid decisions alone.
Yeah. Yep. That's how you come home with a few less fingers or fewer fingers.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank God we all had country parents that taught us right.
Oh, I sliced my finger up once with a pocket knife as a kid.
I did. This is a funny story. My dad spends like 20 minutes sharpening a pocket knife for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty young. Sharpening. He goes, "This is going to be really sharp. Be super careful with it." He's like, "Do not cut yourself. Just be really careful with it." Sharpens it. Stuff with this. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go outside and play in the little tree fort. He's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Be very careful with it. I go out there. I try and carve one little thing in, go to do the second one, slice my finger wide open. And I'm sitting out there for like 5 minutes staring at it going, do I tell him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I can't do anything. There's blood everywhere.
Yes.
It doesn't hurt, but I have to tell him.
Right.
I can't, what am I going to hide this with? I can't go rub in the grass. So I go inside. It's been maybe 5 minutes since he gave me this knife. He probably just sat down on the toilet.
You're like, Dad, the craziest thing happened.
So I knock,
like, you're not going to believe this.
I knock on the door and he's like, what? I just got in here. And I'm like,
it wasn't me. All right. Let me just say that.
I didn't start with that. I was like, Dad. He's like, yeah, what do you need? I'm like, do you remember how you told me not to cut myself? And he's like, yeah, I'm telling you, it's really sharp. And he's in the bathroom. I'm like, well, I cut myself. And all I hear is, you know, like,
I decided that I wasn't going to follow that advice.
I
was going to carve my own path, literally into my hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he always says about me. He's like, you always listen to my advice, and then you do exactly the opposite. And I'm like, well, I got to learn.
Sure, yeah.
I got to know.
Got to know if it's good advice or not. Got to test it, yeah.
I
like,
still think...
What, do you just expect me to just take it on faith that you're giving good advice?
Still think I'm smarter than you.
Not all advice is good. I mean, you know.
That's my... I will fail on my father's advice 9 times out of 10 and still do it my own way every time.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, I can do it better.
Right? Yeah.
9 times out of 10, he's right.
Yep. So, yeah, that was the similar thing with me. Like, I was told not to play with that pocket knife. I'm like, I'm gonna play with it anyway. So I go onto the deck, and I'm out there, like, you know, carving a stick and just cut my finger.
That's what the saying, like, "Boys will be boys" is. Man.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I'm like, all right, I can take care of this myself. I know where the Band-Aids are. I go and I try and put a Band-Aid on, but I'm bleeding so much it won't stick. Not sticking, yeah. I'm like, jeez, I gotta tell my parents. Ugh, yeah. So
that's the boys will be boys thing.
Sure.
And my parents were divorced, but when my dad raised me, it's like, if he sees me about to get hurt doing something, he's just gonna let it happen.
Yeah.
If I'm not gonna, and we were talking to my boss. He's got 3 kids now, but he was telling us about how his kid was like throwing a wrench at the ground or something, and his boss was like, you know, isn't that, what if he gets hurt? And he's like, well, he won't do it again.
Yes.
That's
right.
That's how it is.
I love that. There's a line from Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, and I don't know if it was if it was actually in one of the books or not, but I see it in, like, you know, comic form and that kind of stuff. But anyway, so he gives his granddaughter a sword for Christmas, or for what they call Christmas in that world. And someone's freaking out. They're like, well, you know, what if she cuts herself? And he says, then that will be a very important lesson.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously things that if your kid's doing, like, about to, you got to stop them from that.
Yeah.
Or
if it's going to be a minor injury, let them experience it. Let them know why they shouldn't be doing that. Because if they don't, if there's never any consequences to that, they're just going to keep doing it until there is.
Yes. So when I was teaching Kylie to drive her own 4-wheeler, I'm riding on the back. I don't usually touch the handlebars, and I keep them close or something, but she keeps not paying attention when we're going to turn, and she's almost hitting things. And I'm like, after me telling her 3 times, I'm like, I'm just going to show her how close this can get. we're going around it. We're going to hit the tree 'cause she's not paying attention. And I wait till the absolute last second and like inches from the tree, you know, we jerk stop. And you can tell she's visibly scared. I'm like, this is what happens when you don't pay attention.
Right.
I said, if I didn't catch you, you'd be in this tree right now.
Right.
That's why I've been telling you.
Yeah.
That you have to watch. And then she's like, okay, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, no, we're gonna do it again.
Right.
Because you get scared, you just do it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was a learning.
Right.
Where you should be scared of it.
Sure.
Because that's what could happen.
Right.
But you didn't get hurt.
You need to stay alert. Yeah.
Now she does it again, but that's the thing. I think kids should always try at least one more time. Like she fell scootering, hurt her knee, and she's like, I'm just gonna walk it the rest of the way. No, you're gonna scooter it.
Right.
I'm like, you came out here to scooter, you fell, you get back on it, or you're just gonna get scared of it.
Yes. Right.
I crashed a motorcycle at 5. I was terrified. I didn't want to ride it again.
Yeah.
And my dad kept trying to force me, and I wouldn't do it. And I didn't ride for a long time, and it was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid of me.
Right.
I should have just done it again.
Yep.
And so when I crashed my crotch rocket and broke my foot and everything, I rode it one last time before I sold it. Because it's like, I don't want this to like sit in my brain and just like, it was still freaky driving it one more time, but it's like, I don't want to run into that again.
Right. Where
you tell your brain, oh, it's okay to be scared of that.
Right.
You made a good decision never riding again.
Yeah.
Now I'm smarter. No, I'd probably can't. But I had to do that for me. Like I had to try one more time.
Mm-hmm. I still want to get a motorcycle someday. So
it's fun.
Not a crotch rocket.
They're all fun. They're even on a big Harley, you're looking your 0 to 60s around the 4 or 5 second mark, which is faster than most cars you can buy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing like it. I mean, I get my fill now riding a 4-wheeler on trail or even around the neighborhood. They're not dangerous themselves. It's everyone else on the road. And that's how my crash happened.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust anyone now. There's way too many distractions in cars.
Yeah. People have been posting a lot about this like motorcyclist who's trying to run from the cops, and he's going so fast, and he hits a car and just he's gone.
Yep.
Yeah, and the
that's the thing.
Newscasters,
if you're on a bike, man, you can run from the cops. 100%. They cannot catch you.
Well, they had a helicopter.
Oh, well, then you're screwed.
Yes.
Most police precincts in states now have no chase rules for motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't chase because
a
bike can go in between things, can go fast. Your car is just going to be causing.
Right.
A bike hits a car.
It's extremely dangerous for you as the pursuer and for the pursued. Yeah. It's
dangerous for you and the pedestrians around. Like
that
bike. If you take a bike and you're doing 150 and you hit a car, person in the car is probably going to be fine.
Yes.
Unless you do some freak right into their driver door.
Mm-hmm.
But still, force is nothing compared to another car.
Right.
So that's why you just don't chase. Let him crash out himself. Because if you're chasing him, he goes. You go through and you hit a car, that's bad.
Right.
That's real bad.
Yeah.
If you ride a bike, don't run from the cops. It's probably very tempting if you're on the expressway, especially on a crotch rocket.
Exactly.
Blow by a cop.
Gone. Now.
Time I drove any of my sports cars.
Yeah.
It's like they're not gonna catch you.
Right.
But their cameras are.
Right.
They will catch up to you.
Yes. You'll get a knock on your door.
And it's gonna be so much worse.
Exactly.
So much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Our area we live in is just a horrible place to ride.
Exactly. Yeah.
Out by your dad, beautiful.
Sure.
I mean, you still gotta watch for deer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I would ride.
If I ever moved back to Florida, I absolutely would.
A lot of bikes in
Florida. So yeah.
I think there's probably more people driving in Florida, but there's a lot more bikes. So I think people are more aware in Florida.
Yeah.
Same with California. People are more aware of motorcycles.
Right.
Here in our state, it seems like no one cares.
Right.
I really like the stickers and the signs that look twice, save a life. I mean, it means a lot to me when I had a bike, and even more now that I've crashed, because people just don't look.
Right.
Or don't care.
Yeah.
In Florida, I see them all the time, even when I'm driving down there.
I always try and be the one behind a motorcyclist.
That's smart. I hate that. And you have to.
I'm not giving that to some other dummy.
Give them a lot of room.
Yeah, that doesn't understand
so
how much room you need to give a bike. So yeah.
Right on my bumper, or you stop at a red light and they come up right behind you, and you're like, "This is." Right. So, in like the second half of my riding career, I would pull up basically next to the car in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
yeah.
it would always freak the cars out behind me because they think like I'm going to turn. And it's like, no, I'm just giving my room in case you get rear-ended.
Right.
Because you're going to sit right on my back wheel. You get rear-ended, I can't go anywhere.
Right.
So I'm going to give myself a buffer in case I get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, or they pull out in front of you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I see a bike, motorist out there, I'm the one behind them. I'm the one, at the light behind them. So,
and you should know, don't pull out in front of a motorcycle, ever.
Right.
Ever. They're going faster than you think. They cannot stop as quick as you think. You cut off another car, it's a dick move. But a motorcycle, you just, I don't know. If they have a helmet cam, you might be going to jail for manslaughter if they hit you, because it's extreme. They don't have ABS.
Right.
They don't have great disc brakes.
Yep.
I mean, the brake on your car, even if you're driving a Corolla, is like this big. Motorcycle is like that big.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You just got a little pad squeezing it.
Right.
So it's very dangerous to drive a bike. Would you wear a helmet if you got one?
I probably would drive naked.
Oh, yeah?
So, completely. Yeah.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt so bad. The day I crashed, I had full gear on. I had gloves, t-shirt, hoodie, leather jacket, helmet, jeans. Sadly, just Vans. I didn't have riding boots, but I don't think that would have saved my feet from being... With all that, with a jacket and hoodie that go past, I still had road rash right on my hip.
Oh, yeah?
And it wasn't as bad as you could probably find online, but it hurts, man. It's like serious rug burn when that's healing.
Right.
Especially on your hip. Everything touches it.
Oof. Yeah.
It was swagged out for a while until it healed,
Right.
Just, what did they call that? What was it? Pants down real low. Was it called sagging? Is that what it was called?
Was it called something?
I think it was.
I thought it was just a thing.
I don't remember.
Do people still do that though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll tell you.
Not as widespread as.
I don't know if you watch this, I'm gonna talk about you. Back in the day, he would wear basketball shorts under his jeans, not to like sag, but he still does it. Still does it. I think now.
Yeah.
I just can't. I don't like basketball shorts enough to do that.
Yeah.
It's under everything.
Yeah.
Yep. So. Kylie always be like, I see your underwear. I'm like, that's my second pair of pants. Wearing 2 pairs of pants. You can't see anything.
That's funny.
I like to stay winter. So, but now I just stay inside. COVID,
Right.
Can't be going out there with them crazy people buying all the toilet paper. Get shot.
Are we on another toilet paper shortage now?
I don't know. Are we?
I have no idea. I
don't think so. I just bought some like 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. I'm
It's very weird that people
now.
think like we're a house of 3, and I just buy a case of toilet paper, whatever you get at Walmart, a case, however many comes in it, and that lasts a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't know why these people are rushing to get it. It's not like you shouldn't be using that much toilet paper.
There are people that do though. There are, and I've.
Have you been one of them?
No,
Oh.
I'm not one of them, but I have known them.
I have bidets now. It's fantastic.
Like, just because they don't do the fold method, they do the wad method.
What?
And so you have to have half a roll of toilet paper to wad.
Why are you wadding?
I asked that question, and the answer was, I don't have the time to fold it.
What? You just I think I do a 3-fold, depending on how thick the.
You
have a nice square, covers your whole hand.
Yes, exactly.
Boom.
Yep.
Check it to see if you're clean. Down in the toilet. It's also weird. I've met people that don't check.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you not
just trust it?
How do you not check, man?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I have a bidet now, so like usually I still check, but it's still
exactly.
It's like 99% clean every time. But before that, not checking?
It's a bit.
You just wait till you start itching when you're sitting down.
Sure,
like,
yeah,
what?
I like to live dangerously. I like to gamble.
Dangerous.
It's like there was some comedian, he's talking about that, and he's like, you're always, it's always like you always have like 1 too few wipes or 1 too many.
Oh, that's true.
So in the sense that like you either call it too soon, think you're good, or you do that final wipe and say there's nothing. No, there's nothing there. Like you're good.
Gotcha.
So,
if you keep going, there's blood. Especially if especially if you work at a place that has sandpaper for toilet paper.
Yeah, got to scrub.
I have yet to work at a workplace that has toilet paper that's a good standard.
Right.
It's
funny because you buy the cheap stuff, you're going to be using more than if you buy the quality stuff.
GM had like see-through.
Yeah.
So it's like I need like 50 of them.
Right.
And the place we're at now is rougher than sandpaper.
Oh yeah.
And it's just not. I was bringing basically wet wipes, or like the flushable whatever.
Sure.
Dude wipe, Cottonelle, whatever, because it's just easier. Like I'm not using your flimsy toilet paper and then feeling like it hurts because you had to.
And they tell you not to actually flush those. Like they market them as flushable, but
that's cool. It's not my company. It's all right. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Yeah, here bidet, man, it's life changing. Everyone needs a bidet. Don't listen to what people tell you. Cold water is fine. It's not like it's going on your whole body.
Yeah.
Unless you've got like an overly sensitive downstairs area, the cold doesn't make a difference. I've used both. I've used in our hotel we stayed a fancy bidet, warm water. Actually, it feels weirder.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like warm. I don't like warm toilets either. So it's like it's just a whole weird. Cold is good. You know it's fresh water. You know it's clean. So I recommend bidet. I forget who told me to get one. Ordered one.
Yeah.
Only installed because that's all it would fit. Liked it so much, I bought one for upstairs. Fantastic. 5 minutes to stuff. You don't have one yet?
I don't. No.
God, we should be sponsored. I'd like a fancy bidet. So
yeah.
If we get, who are the sponsors? Like
who are the top of the bidet game?
Oh, that is Tushy.
Are they?
They're the most sponsored for sure.
Sure.
I hear them everywhere.
I just meant like they do a lot of sponsorships. I'm talking like who's the best? Like who makes the best one?
The one in our hotel is the same one my grandparents have, and like when you sit on it, it starts like a fan for ventilation. The seat has 3 different methods of heat. You can keep it heated all the time or when you lift the lid.
One of them fancy Japanese ones.
Then it's got direction control, pressure,
for
temperature
the
water.
Automatic one with the sensor. Like they know exactly where to.
Do they have that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That would be. So what happens when you go in there after Taco Bell and coffee? What's it picking up? It's just all bad. There's no pickup there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just changes to a wide power wash head.
There you go. Wide spray. There it is. Yeah.
For the first pass, it's like a car wash. It's got to go on passes.
Right.
The fan feature was cool. I mean, obviously, they tell you can like fan dry. That doesn't work. No one's got like an hour to sit there while like a little fan. Because, if you're gonna be sitting there a while, it's nice to have a fan going inside the toilet. It was cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'm a huge bidet supporter. I haven't turned anyone yet.
Yeah.
I tell everyone.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before, but the first time I ever saw one was in Italy.
Oh, but a real one, right?
A real one, separate one.
I saw that.
Toilet's here, bidet's next to it. I'm like, what the heck?
I saw that in Vegas, and I was like, and it was like smaller, and it didn't really have like a seat on it, like you're supposed to squat over it.
Right.
I was like, what the hell is that?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, what are you supposed to wash your feet in there? But why is it sitting next to the toilet? Like, what the heck is this thing?
We stayed at the.
I just avoided it.
We stayed at the Trump Penthouse in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we did the sandwich method. Checked in from Priceline. You do your, what was it? Driver's license, tip, credit card. You don't say anything.
Sure.
Just hand it to them.
Yeah.
They know.
Sure.
And they're like, hand it to them. They're like, we have an upgrade tonight if you're interested. I'm like, yes, we are interested.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I want a downgrade. That was a downgrade tip.
So they're like, well, we have a penthouse open. We can give you for 50 or 80, whatever it was, more a night for a penthouse. And we're like, well, I mean, that sounds fancy in Vegas. Yeah, we'll do it. So we take the elevator to the top floor, and I think there was 4 or 5 rooms only on the whole top floor. And one of them was Donald Trump's personal room for when he's there, which has an elevator that just goes to his room. So we go to it, and it's double doors. It has a doorbell. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fancy. You walk in, it was like being in a house. Like it's got, you walk in, there's like a living room. The kitchen had a Sub-Zero freezer and fridge, all granite. Had like the sink in the granite. Then you go to the left, there's a bedroom. Inside the bathroom, heated floors. Had TVs in the mirror. It's like you turn it on and it goes from mirror to TV. Had TV in the shower. Had like 9 billion heads. And then the master bedroom, which is a full bedroom and a full bath, had the bidet. So it had like a shower on the left, a toilet, and then what felt like a mile to the bidet because there's that much room. Yeah, it was crazy. The penthouse was sweet. Whole wall was window across the whole.
So how do you get from the toilet to the bidet?
It's probably a Roomba that picks up anything you drop. It was fancy. It probably wasn't a mile. It was probably me.
Reminds me of a story my buddy told me once when we were buddies back in met him in middle school or whatever, and when I got to college, I came back to town and we decided to hang out and the story he decided to tell me was about he was having some bowel obstruction issues.
Ooh.
And so he said he went to somewhere and they gave him an enema and he's laying down on the table there and they got the hose out, they fill him up and they're like, all right, I'm gonna take the hose out, you just walk over to the bathroom and your business. And he's like I don't know, I'm feeling really bad, really weird right now. It's like you can make it. And so they go and he gets up, he starts going. He's like, yeah, I was not making it. Like stuff was coming out as I'm on my way over there.
That's funny.
Like that's a story you wanted to tell me. I haven't seen you in
that's a great story.
Year or two, yeah.
I just watched the Seinfeld episode where you're familiar with Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
So Kramer gets blocked up.
Yeah.
And so he's like eating high brand, low brand plums, and throughout the whole episode he's getting more and more frustrated. And he's like, I'm going crazy. I can't do it. And they're like Jerry and they're all throwing ideas at him. And toward the end of the episode, Jerry's like, you're gonna have to do the Big E. You're just gonna have to do it. And they're all talking. He's like, oh, I can't be doing that. And at the very end of the episode, it shows him going to the store and looking around, grabbing it off the shelf. And then, they finish the plot. And at the end, Kramer comes in. He's all happy, busts in like Kramer does. And he's like, the Big E, huh? And he's like, oh, yeah. Had to do it.
Got me all sorted. Yeah.
Yep. With that, end us off, Jeremiah. Poop talk.
There you go.
That's how we're
highlight of the stream right
highlight
there.
Of the stream.
All right. So, yes, this has been episode 18. Wow, 18 already.
I know.
Zero Intentions podcast. I'm Jeremiah. This is Kyle. If you want to see our previous videos, our entire backlog is on YouTube. You can go over there. The description is in or the link is in the description here on Twitch.
There's a description in the link too.
Click
the link. You can read a secondary.
Embedded. It's like a Matroska doll.
They click the link. They can read the second description.
Sure.
There's another description. We'll put a link in that description.
Right.
Linkception.
Yeah. So go over there on YouTube, like, share, comment, subscribe, all the stuff you're supposed to do on YouTube to get your little star and thumbs up.
New camera coming.
New camera's coming. Yes, we're going to.
It's here. It's just not.
Sure.
Not here yet.
Let's hope it works. We promise that it should. We'll get it to work.
I believe it does 5K, but we're probably not going to stream it.
We can't stream that. We don't have the bandwidth for that. So.
Right.
But
it has 2.5K.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell 2.5K is.
Well, it's 2.5. Yep.
So hopefully it links. I know it does it wirelessly and.
Sure. Yeah. I did see it has pass-through power, so that's good. So.
Yeah, and we can do super wide as well.
I don't want any fisheye effect. There's 4 settings.
No,
the last 2.
There's 40.
Good. Are there really?
Yeah, it's unreal. It's right. I still don't even. I've only had it a few days. I don't even know what to film in. There's just so many different settings, and then within the settings, you can change everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking ISO, everything.
Nice. Okay.
You can change. So I mean, that's gonna be a you thing. You're gonna and you can save profiles. You're gonna have to set a profile for this. So. Okay. You might need some time to make love to the camera or whatever.
I don't make love to the camera. No, that's not my job. No.
make love with the camera. I don't. Make us look good.
All right. So so thank you for joining us. Be back again next week.
You're forgetting something.
What am I forgetting?
Well, we have a whole. It's on the wall, Jeremiah.
What? Zip.
There you
Our
go.
Tagline.
Yeah.
I haven't finished yet.
Oh, sorry.
That's.
I'll remove myself, folks. Let me mute my mic.
Anyway, all right. So yes, we'll be back next week, same time, same bat time, same bat channel, and we really didn't get into any controversial topics this week. So nothing we said should be offensive,
unless
other than
they really
poop
like
talk. Unless you're really offended by poop.
Do they like Microsoft Edge?
There you go. Yep. And we didn't get to some of the topics that I wanted to talk about, but we'll hit that next week.
Do you want to do one more?
No.
Okay.
No. We'll get there next week. Plus, it's
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, but if you happen to be one of those people that do get offended easily, and you were offended, then we suggest that you zip it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry we didn't get to everything you want to get to.
No, that's fine.
Let's roll the ending. Do you want to tease it?
I just wanted to it's just media stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah, your views, opinions, that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that next time.
I've got all the opinions.
Yeah.
All the opinions. Goodbye, folks.